We are controlled by the media. And today, it all changes.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race.
We are live now into the second hour. Talk show host, filmmaker, best-selling author Steve Quayle is here with us. Gary Haven is going to be popping in with us a little bit later as well. You were here this morning on with David Knight in the morning show he's doing right here on the InfoWars Network. Good to have you here with us.
Hey, Alex, good to be with you today. Hey, we got so much going on in the world. I don't know, brother, how you keep up with it.
Well, I'm trying. We've got the Democrats saying that they are moving to impeach Trump. That is their new campaign slogan. U.S. officials says Israel preparing for war with Iran, seeking U.S. support. We're going to hit it all here in just a moment. But I got behind last hour. I want to get into Kanye West and the inside baseball right now and then get your take on it. We know he's been friends with Trump for more than a decade. We know he went and met with him when he was president-elect, then when he was president. We know they threw him in a mental institution for a week saying it's crazy, you know, the Baker Act. If somebody in your family says, we think it's crazy he likes Trump, and he still came out and said, no, I like Trump. So it shows the mind control of them demonizing him. So he goes into TMZ yesterday, and there's an edited clip where he talks about how, listen, Jews' identity is now the Holocaust. Blacks' identity is slavery. We need to transcend this and not have it be our identities. And I've seen him give that speech before. Well, they were waiting for him to do it. Out of context, they edited it to make him sound like he's saying blacks deserved it. No, he's saying all of us are basically slaves now to this mind control. There's a new enemy. Let's break out of it. He's never lessened black slavery. And he was actually quoting, he's tweeted this, Harriet Tubman, of course, who ran the Underground Railway. Now, the lady that helped free the slaves with white abolitionists, she's now, I guess they're going to say KKK if they say that's who he is or who Candace Owens is, who's coming up later in the next hour. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. That's Harriet Tubman. So I want to get your take on that. Then I'm going to play the edited clip versus him clarifying in the same clip. So he's saying, we're all drugged. We're under mind control. We're all under attack. Break out of the prison. Free thinking. Trump's not bad. But if you like Hillary, that's fine. That's total common sense. That's what bullies they are. Then they change the subject to he's now saying blacks deserve to be slaves. No, he's saying we're all in a mental prison. People were in a prison then. When blacks decided to break out, when whites decided it was wrong too, it ended. He's saying we have power. We don't just need to be victims. But they want to make people's identity how they're victims. Then there's the groups that feed that victimology and control it. You've talked about this for a long time. I'm going to play these clips and get into the inside baseball that I've been told by 3 high-level sources of Kanye and Trump. And my sources think it's now time for people to know what Kanye's doing specifically with Trump. We're going to give people the exclusive, but I wanted to get your take on this, Steve Quayle.
No matter what you say, no matter what Kanye say, anybody who speaks out against the if you will, the scripted official programming, Alex, they come in and they absolutely distort what you say because they can't stand the thought of anybody telling the truth, and they have to take everything put into their context because they can't take the truth in our context. The truth is the truth. But these guys are basically, they're worm-like editors, and they worm into every word you say, I say, Kanye said, and they want to spin it. They spin, spin, spin. And so the point is, they will never put us in context. You know that personally. They always take everything in their frame of reference, and the frame of reference is they don't want to lose control of the mind-controlled people. That's my opinion.
And Kanye, if he's successful, I think he is, he's going to go down in history with all that star appeal on the #1 artist in the world, trying to do what we've done in 20-plus years, accelerating it in just a few months. And the fact that he's standing against it is incredible. But to watch TMZ trying to set him up when, he's coming in there and giving them, such attention. Or maybe it wasn't the owners of TMZ, and maybe it was just the editors trying to get attention. But we're going to show what they showed, and then what they later put out as what he really said, which they should have put it out. Again, he's not saying Jews deserve the Holocaust or Jews were weak. He's saying it shouldn't be their identity of just the Holocaust. I mean, think about that. That's our women thinking the West hates them when the West has empowered women, but then the globalists won't expose what Islam's doing to women. Or China killing tens of millions, 60, 80 million little girls. I mean, where's Gloria Steinem there? Where's Linda Saussure there? So here's the short clip, then we'll go to the long clip.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race, that we're the human race.
So that's just Martin Luther King Part 2. Now it's no, you are your identity of the group you're in, segregate the schools again, do all of this. This is a plan. This is in the WikiLeaks where they're trying to divide everybody to control us so we don't all decide we want freedom. Now, let's go to the unedited clip. Here it is from TMZ.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race, that we're the human race. We're human beings and stuff. And then eventually, you know.
Can I go back to something you just said? Because I don't want to let it pass. You said that slavery was around for 400 years. At a point, it becomes a choice?
Yeah, right now we're choosing to be enslaved. We're like, okay, so Ebro, I FaceTime him, and I'm there with Candace, right? And Ebro starts bringing up his version of facts, right? And Candace has facts. She's researched, right? Candace Owens has facts. She's researched. And then Candace just pulls out her Jedi lightsaber and just, you know, chops Ebro's head off with facts. Then Ebro FaceTimes me the next day, and he's talking about the scoop and poop. He wants to talk about music now. I said, yo, you gonna have Candace on your show? He's like, nah, I'm not. She's mean. So you're gonna stifle her voice, Ebro. You're choosing to enslave people's minds. You're choosing to not let the truth be free.
Can I give you my translation of what happened last week and tell me if it's right?
Okay.
The way I see it, you don't necessarily embrace the views of Donald Trump as much as you want to show people that they shouldn't be intimidated from showing their true feelings, expressing themselves freely, and that the hat is a lightning rod for this kind of free thought that is lost in our society because people get bullied and shouted down and they're intimidated to the point where they have to shut up. Is that fair?
It's the mob. The mob tries to tell you what to think. The mob tries to make all blacks be Democrats for you know, food stamps and stuff. It's the mob. Like, and by the way, you're just talking to the emotion. You know, when you get Candace, ask her, she's going to drop you the facts. We're
going to have Candace on in a bit.
The kid, if you ask the kid that stood in Tiananmen Square in front of the tank why he did it, he might not be able to explain that. But you can't diminish that moment if I can't give you the direct explanation.
Wow, he just did the big no-no because China now controls most of Hollywood. He just exposed where the real slavery now is going on, the mass killing, 60 to 80 million little girls killed, millions hiding under their houses like Anne Frank. Millions of Anne Franks right now in China hiding for much of their life because they're still going to be killed or put in a forced labor camp because their parents didn't kill them. All that's going on. I'm so proud of Paul Watson because Candace Owens is just dynamite. You know, really magnifying her, pushing the real red pill, black, getting her out there. We're going to have Candace Owens coming up in the last 30 minutes the next hour today. So be sure and retweet that at Real Alex Jones. It's so exciting. But looking at this, I'm going to come back in the break and just briefly tell you the inside baseball on Kanye West I was given from high-level Trump sources. I mean, he's for real.
He is for real. And the problem with this whole controlled dialogue is that they don't want people to ever see anything in context, Alex. The American people need context. So when you're doing the in-depth the studies and everything that we're talking about, the American people are starting to see, hey, wait a minute, this isn't the official story. I know there's more to the story.
They're starting to think, they're starting to understand that they're only be given a pinhole of the truth instead of the bigger picture.
Right, and that's what we're trying to do. Most people have been raised on news bites, and they've lost the ability to cognitively think and process data. They can't put things together.
And that's what Kanye said. We're going to play that short clip when we come back. I was talking to syndicated radio host, best-selling author, and filmmaker Steve Quayle, who I heard talking about geoengineering and human-animal hybrids 23 years ago. When I first got on air, he got on air right around the same time, but he was already way ahead of me. And I thought the guy was a little bit out there. Over the years, about 95% of it's all come out, which is pretty frightening. But he joins us right now for 30 minutes the next hour. We're going to have Gary Haven getting here as well. We're also going to have Millie Weaver popping in from the Caravan site on the Mexico side, because the U.S. won't let reporters get up close to it. She shot a bunch of amazing live footage with her team there inside Mexico yesterday, but she couldn't say her piece because she probably would have had some issues as a team in Mexico. So she'll give you the rest of the report coming up. Steve Quayle's riding shotgun with us. And then Candace Owens. Interview with Candace Owens coming up. Of course, Kanye had her there at TMZ and all the rest of it. And the fact that he's punching all this knowledge out there and saying we're allowed to have free thinking, aren't we? He's calling out the elephant in the room. But I was talking to Steve about 3 minutes ago during the break, and I said, Steve, what do you guess that I'm going to talk about with Kanye West and with Trump? And he said, well, I want to get into how the globalists need World War III and how Wesley Clark laid out the 7 nations, and I think it has to do with that. And as God is my witness, I did not tell him or anybody yet here in the office or anybody else what I've been told by 3-level sources. One involved with SpaceX and Space Command, who, again, should not come on today because of the lawyers, but he's looking to go public soon here on the broadcast. He knows Kanye and Elon Musk and all those folks. We put the photo of Kanye in 2011 at SpaceX with Elon. We should probably put that on screen for TV viewers. But I was told what was going on. And, of course, it's all common sense. I already know it's good intel because I already basically understand the players. NASA is one shadow government set up to compete with the CIA and the other shadow government. And they're interlocked, they're intertwined. But there's a group that wants human exploration, that doesn't want to reduce world population, that wants to have a human future that Trump's been pushing. And Elon Musk and others are involved in that. Myself, Matt Drudge, Ron Paul, Rand Paul, people like that, Steve Quayle. Then there's the really bad deep state actors. It's very varied in the CIA, but it's the 1947 National Security Act group, that whole group. They are wanting a tyrannical world war, depopulation, total control, so then most of us will be wiped out. They can roll out the clones, the synthetic humans, the machines, all the stuff they've already got. They're 40 years ahead, the super weapons. They don't want to wait until China and Russia get to that technological jump point that they already hit 40 years ago. They want to hit them now. And Trump's trying to stop all that from the intel I've gotten. That's why this really satanic globalist force is so pissed right now. And Kanye, I can now tell you, has been brought in by President-elect, then by the president, in on the whole plan. He'd already been brought into it by Elon Musk years ago. And the whole pro-human faction, not the transhumanists saying we're all trash, Ray Kurzweil globalist faction, they don't believe in God yet. And you're the expert on this. We'll go to you in a moment to have the floor. Steve Quayle. And Kanye, just like patriots in our government, drafted Trump 4 years ago to prepare him to run when they were looking at a coup against Obama. And, of course, he's talked to some of the generals. He testified to this. We were in D.C. a few weeks ago. You can see that in his speech at the Mayflower. In fact, we probably re-air that. We haven't aired that except once live. And he didn't even know that I knew about that separately. And Trump was drafted on a kamikaze mission to do this. So it's not the whole government that's bad. There's the pro-human faction and the eugenics death cult faction. And so Kanye was brought in on all this, briefed on this, briefed on a lot of the stuff that public hasn't been told about yet, like Trump talked about in his inaugural address, about secrets of the universe. You're about to know them. We have technologies that'll help boost everything, get the economy going. He's trying to do that. The globalists want a post-industrial world. And you notice they cut the tape and they interrupt when he goes, well, until the point that humanity, because we're way past this racism thing. They're trying to stop it till the point that humanity, and they cut him off right there. To the point that we all basically sync up, but not falsely with the internet and the computers and the AI trying to control us in a hive mind, but where we all, like Christ talked about, hit the next level. And they're trying to suppress that, basically the Holy Spirit. And so that's what Kanye keeps trying to get out. They interrupt him every time. But Kanye has now been drafted into this. He's a patriot. Other people were approached. They're all cowards. So we have to give him the props that he has this much courage. But that's it. He and Trump are working together. This is coordinated, and they have a lot of courage. Go ahead, Steve Quayle. You've got the floor for this segment. The next.
The idea of a necessary World War III is absolutely the overriding and overruling dynamic that's going on behind the scenes. And Alex, what's important that people understand, really, really get it and understand it, these people are the ones that do want to decimate the human race, take it down to 500 million. Globalist, the best dream they have, the globalists, their best dream, our ultimate nightmare. But what Kanye did, if you remember, when he had his meltdown, he put that into the context of Jay-Z and a supernatural war going on. You remember that? I mean, you know, he was worried about curses and everything else. Well, here's the deal. Many of the people in Hollywood who have been under a form of mind control are now coming out of that. And I'm not saying Kanye is, but he is. He's been under mind control. Yeah. I mean, just cultural everything.
Right, but you can see he's coming out of it.
Yeah, he's coming out of it. But others will follow. It's kind of like an icebreaker. The bow on the icebreaker hits the ice first, and if the bow on the icebreaker doesn't hit the ice first, the rest of the ship can't come through. So when we take it into the World War III context, look at where we're going. We're going right into Iran. They're A positioning, B positioning. They're getting ready to go at it. And what we're seeing now with the Syrian revelations of, firing missiles and Trump trying to prevent World War III, and that really pissed off the powers that be, okay? They want World War III. They do.
That's why he's doing limited things to culturally appease the hawks, but it's actually like Red Adair using TNT to blow up an oil well that's on fire. Exactly. He's killing the bigger fire with a smaller one.
Exactly. And he understands the program, and you know your sources tell you that. But also the thing that people have got to understand is this. When you and I broke the story about Deagle, Deagle's the depopulation, kind of like the RAND think tank, the depopulation of America, losing up to 80% of its population. Now, that was before. People lose track of the fact that these guys behind the scenes, call them the global puppet masters, the Luciferians, the Satanists, they absolutely go nuts. They melt down, Alex, and all the mouthpieces that are trying to make Kanye look bad, that are always against, quote, us, who are the free press, the last vestige of the free press, they don't want to lose the C word, and that's control.
And again, we're not bragging. We're going to come back. You're on fire. But you have been the tip of the icebreaker. We're not bragging. That's why we're under so much attack. They know this, folks. They know we just want to win. We're for everybody. We want humanity. We'll point out all the garbage. I'm getting chills right now. And I forgot to play this clip of Kanye saying, hey, you're on drugs. You're under mind control. Wake up. It's happening. And you can see he's there. It's real. He's breaking out of it. You can tell he's got chills because your spirit knows we're at the choosing point right now. We're going to come back and talk more about Iran, how we stop the globalists. But here's that clip as we go out to break with Kanye just last night.
We are drugged out. We are following other people's opinions. We are controlled by the media. And today it all changes.
And so they spin that he doesn't like black people and says they deserve to be slaves. No, he said, we're all slaves now. We're breaking out. Let's stop being slaves. Let's stop being victims. Let's declare our destiny.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
I'm a nasty woman.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Who are you, little fella? Come to show him where I am. Not nice.
thought you couldn't hair press on nails because of all the active things you do? Recolored in 7 luscious hues. Just...
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. These signals being sent through...
There is a war on for your mind. Our signal has reached more than 2 billion people. But the enemy is now aware of the fact that we've broken through and are moving to block us on every front. The only way you're going to be able to see our videos and articles is to visit Infowars.com itself and hand share the videos and articles to everyone you know. The signal is getting through and is exposing and defeating the globalist when we're able to get it through. But they're admittedly expanding their operations to suppress us, so only you can boost the signal. Only you can defeat the globalist. We're in this together. I salute you for your work, and I ask all of you to redouble your efforts.
There is a signal broadcast every second of every day through our television sets.
I'm just trying to warn you folks, the television is a giant LED weapon system. It's so advanced.
Shows it to him, comes right back, go one way and come back in the other and get in the air. His hometown, northwest of Belgrade. And tonight, their family, his family, is watching in the living room at home. And one of the great new technologies that we have here at ESPN is that we can look at you in your house through your TV.
You know what? You got a little courage. Stand up for yourself.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
Staying healthy on the go is just as important as staying healthy at home. But sometimes supplements don't work fast enough. That's why InfoWars Life has created a powerful new addition to the Super Blue line, Super Blue Silver Immune Gargle. Available in 1 ounce, 3.5 ounce, and 16-ounce bottles, Immune Gargle is perfect for the bathroom, kitchen, or wherever you go. The incredible new purifying formula is dentist recommended for daily use whenever you feel like you need to stay clean. As a powerful hand purifier or oral cleansing formula, just a small spray will help you stay clean when you feel surrounded by toxins. With powerful yet simple ingredients, Immune Gargle features Silver Sol Nano Silver for a powerful cleansing alternative. With Super Blue Silver Immune Gargle, staying toxin-free is easy and affordable. Help stop the spread of toxins and stay healthy with Super Blue Silver Immune Gargle. Only available at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.